Good evening, CES. This is Miss Van Aken, your teacher specialist. I get to do Cubby's Corner for this week. I hope that you're going to enjoy the story that I'm going to read to you. This is actually written by a Queen Anne's County resident and my very good friend. Her name is Carol Franks-Randall. If you listened to Cubby's Corner last year, you heard her read a different book called Jamal and Me. So this book we're going to read today is called Playground Heroes by my good friend, Carol Franks-Randall. And this story really focuses on being friendly and reaching out to others in need, two of our very important kindness skills. And look, boys and girls, can you see that right there? Miss Carol wrote me a little dedication. Isn't that so cool? And she also dedicated her book to her family, including her grandchildren, and to educators, mental health professionals, parents, and everyone who addresses bullying. Once upon a time, there were two sisters, Zoe and Ellie. Zoe was in 3rd grade and Ellie was in kindergarten. Zoe and Ellie were both very athletic and agile. They like to run, jump, climb, dance, sing, swim, ride bikes, go to gymnastics, and anything else that involved moving around. Do you guys like to do those things too? I bet you do, especially in the spring. One mild, sunny day in October, Zoe and Allie's Nana and Grandpa drove over to Crossroad Elementary School to pick them up at the end of the school day. As they were leaving the school, Zoe asked Nana if she and Ellie could play on the school's playground. It looks kind of like our playground, doesn't it, boys and girls? Since it was such a nice day, Nana said, "Okay, honey, but only for 15 minutes. Then we will have to go home and do homework." Nana used to be a teacher, and she was very particular about getting homework done. And there's Nana, and there's Grandpa. And Nana and Grandpa, they're actually inspired by Miss Carol, the author, and her husband. The girls ran over to the swings and began to pump and swing high. Nana and Grandpa found a comfortable bench to sit on where they could see Zoe and Ella. Everyone was having a fun time. Do you guys like to swing on the swings? I bet you do. Suddenly, a boy came onto the playground. Zoe knew who he was. His name was Charlie, and he was in her class. Zoe yelled, "Hi," to Charlie, and he mumbled a greeting. So Zoe is being friendly. But look at Charlie. Does he look very happy? No, I wonder why. Charlie was a nice boy, but school was hard for him. He sat next to Zoe and he had trouble reading, writing, and speaking. He sometimes screamed out in class, "I can't do this," and had to be removed from the classroom to calm down. Zoe often helped him with his work by reading the directions to him. And there's a speech bubble where Charlie's thinking about him being in class and saying he can't do this. And there he's thinking about, look, can you see? Everyone else looks like they are playing basketball and Charlie's not included. And then there's his friend, Zoe. During indoor recess or independent reading time, Zoe sometimes read books to Charlie and helped him sound out words. He wasn't as agile or as athletic as Zoe or Ellie and was often picked last, if at all, for team sports during gym and recess. He was a very lonely boy and had very few friends. I know Zoe, and I know that she's very kind. I wonder what she is going to do next. Give me a thumbs up if you know. Just then, two boys climbed over the fence and came onto the playground. Zoe looked over and recognized them immediately. She didn't know their names, but she did know that they were in Mrs. Walnut's 5th grade class. Zoe saw them once sitting in the principal's office when she was bringing a note from her teacher. She didn't know why they were there, but she was sure they had been up to no good. These boys were very devious, and they looked around and noticed where Nana and Grandpa were sitting. They stood on the other side of the slide where Nana and Grandpa could not see them. One of them called over to Charlie in a loud voice. Charlie was happy that someone was talking to him, so he walked over to where they were standing as quickly as he could. And here they are saying, "Hey, Charlie, come over here." I wonder if they're going to be kind and friendly. We heard that you are not a smart kid. Why are you so silly? Maybe you should go back to kindergarten. Where do you get your clothes? When Charlie got close to the boys, they pointed at him and laughed him and punched him in the stomach. The bullies didn't know this, but Ellie had very keen hearing and heard what they said to Charlie. First, Ellie and Zoe jumped off their swings and ran over to where the bullies were. See how fast they are? Zoe said, "Don't talk to Charlie like that. He's a friend of mine, and I don't like the way you're speaking to him." "Who are you, little girl?" "His mommy. We'll talk to him any way we want." So see Zoe? She was reaching out to her friend Charlie, who was in need. She was being kind to him and using her words to tell the bullies to please stop and leave him alone. Zoe put her hands on her hips and said, "No, you won't. We don't allow bullying in our school. We have learned to stand up to bullies, and that's what we're doing." And look at the girls. They're saying, "Stop bullying." And the boys are laughing. The boys were astonished. That means they were really surprised. They weren't used to anyone standing up to them. At first, they began to laugh, and then they realized that they didn't like being challenged. They began to walk away. Meanwhile, Nana and Grandpa heard loud voices and began walking towards the slide to see what was happening. They saw the bullies as they approached and asked them what was going on. The boys did not respond. They mumbled something unintelligible and left the playground. And there's Grandma saying, "What's going on?" And then the boy saying, "Who does she think she is anyway? We don't have to listen to her or that other girl with her." Nana asked Zoe, "What just happened here?" Before Zoe could explain, Charlie said, "Zoe chased the boys away. Her sister helped too. She is my friend." Ellie said, "Zoe told the boys to leave Charlie alone." Zoe filled Nana and Grandpa in on the rest of the details. And there's Charlie, and there's Nana and Grandpa asking, "Are you okay?" Grandpa asked, "Why didn't you call us over to help?" Zoe replied, "In school, we've been learning about bullying. We've learned that kids can help each other when they are bullied. Usually the bullies say and do mean things when there are no grown-ups around. Our teacher's been teaching us what words to say, not just when we are bullied, but when our friends are being bullied too. Sometimes it's hard for Charlie to say the right words, so I came to help. Ellie helped too. She told the bullies to stop. They were 5th grade boys. I am so proud of her." So what do you think? Do you think Zoe and Ellie were being kind cubs? Nana said, "Your mom and dad have talked to you about what to say to bullies, particularly if an adult is not close by. I know they will be happy to learn that you stood up for Charlie. You are kind and courageous, and I am very proud of you." Zoe smiled at Charlie and said, "That's what friends do for each other." Charlie said goodbye and walked across the street to his house. I bet Charlie feels a lot better too, knowing he had a kind friend who used her words to stand up for him. Zoe and Ellie and Nana and Grandpa got in the car and drove home. The girls went into their house and got busy on their homework. Yep. After they finished their homework and before the sun went down, Zoe and Ellie went into their backyard, climbing, swinging, doing cartwheels, and running races. Wow, they are so athletic. And what was that word? Oh, that's right, agile. That means they can really move and move quickly. And there is Grandma and Grandpa. Today, Zoe and Ellie, how was your day? And those are the parents asking about their day. And I bet that Zoe and Ellie are going to tell them about their help for Charlie. All right, let's see what Miss Carol Franks-Randall says about this book. Let's find out what her inspiration or what made her want to think about writing this book. Playground Heroes was written to help empower children to stand up to bullies whenever it is safe to do so. This story shows that bullies are often devious and strike when no adult is watching. It is certainly not easy to confront bullies, whether it's done directly like Zoe and Ellie did in the story, or whether adults are involved. It is important that schools, families, communities, etc., work together to give children the tools to fight back when they or their friends are bullied and to implement programs that address such issues. It is my hope that this book will inspire everyone who reads it to be kind and courageous and to realize that they have a role in preventing bullying. And remember, what are our 4 kindness skills? That's right. Reach out to others in need, offer help, show appreciation, and be friendly. I hope that you enjoyed this book, boys and girls. And if you ever get a chance, you can read some of Miss Carol Franks-Randall's other books. They're available, some in the library and some in stores. All right, enjoy. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Bye.